And of course, that intro song, specially requested by Will, as he, is number one and gets to pick what song we start our new video with. And that's the one he chose. So, Hail to the King by Avenged Sevenfold, which pretty much says hail to the number one team, Will, for being, tops here as we enter into week 10. And we have a new video here, right? Week 10 predictions. 9 weeks have gone by already. Some of us sitting pretty, like we talked about in the last video, 7-2. Perfect spot to be. 6-3. Heck, even 5-4. After that, though, not so much. We're not all that happy to kind of be where we're at, right? Because it's a close race, really. I mean, when we started the beginning of the season, after it was like 4 games or something like that, it was very top heavy and bottom heavy. And boy, has that kind of changed. I mean, it's still top heavy. We still have, 3 teams really that we could say are doing really, really well. Either 7-2, 6-3 with Will, Clint, and John, kind of sitting in a really good spot. Probably very happy with how their season is. But really, beyond that, if you are 5-4 all the way down to 3-6, like it's only a matter of a couple games. A win this week, a loss this week changes a lot. And we're also seeing, right, who's sitting in the number 6 spot right now, right, would be the last playoff spot, is under 500, which is crazy because we've been preaching all year that you need to be above 500 to make the playoffs. And who knows? I mean, right, that's all determined by, the top couple teams and how well they do. If they separate themselves like they kind of are as of right now, then really the middle part, or especially the bottom part of the league, is all kind of jumbled, and that's what we're seeing as of right now. So it makes for a lot of fun, right? If you're in the middle of that, exactly. Every week is a must win, and every week when you lose, it puts you further and further down and in the mix and all that good stuff. So just really to recap, right, it's a close race as of right now. So really probably only Will and Clint are kind of happy. Maybe John, sitting where they're at. All the rest of us, though, know that we, each and every week we need a win. We can't afford too many more losses. And for some teams that are sitting already with 6 losses, I'm talking to you, Sean, Jay, Jake, Jeremy, you can't really afford another loss. Really, I mean, maybe, a 7-loss team could still make the playoffs based on what we're seeing right now, but you definitely don't want to risk it. So, all right, so that's our rankings. Congrats to Will once again for being our number 1 team. Tied in record, of course, with Clint, but having the tiebreaker for points for by about 11 points there. So, all right, well, let's jump into our Week 10 predictions, shall we? And see who is going to win, or at least who I think is going to win, which, as of the last, few weeks or so, doesn't always mean anything. We'll start with Jake versus Adam, because we'll leave my game to the end. So, I think this one's already over. I've got it highlighted in my notes here, and it just spells Chase. For those of you that need help with that, that spells Chase, and 55.40 points. I mean, hell, my team struggles to score that many points throughout all of my players on some weeks. And some other teams as well, right? That, 55 points. I just look back. I think we all do, right? I'm like, who should that number 1 pick been? Or in the first round, and how it went when Sean took Wilson. And then, we had CeeDee Lamb, and then we had Chase, and then we had Hill. And looking back at it, Chase was a good pick. And especially with how the Bengals are playing as of right now, and unless, they get eliminated quickly, because I know their record isn't great, and then they, rest players, I guess maybe that could be the downfall of the team, but that didn't happen this week. Look at that. 11 receptions, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns. Freaking amazing. Nice job, Adam, right there. I mean, I don't even need to go into any more. But, to look at Jake's teams, he had Flowers, he had Gesicki. Both underperformed. They're in the red. I'm not going to go through any more. Let's just say that Adam's going to get the win pretty easily this week. He's projected to win by, I don't know, 60. I don't think it'll be that lopsided, but I definitely think Adam will get a comfortable win this week, and that will move him to 5-5. And definitely headed in the right direction. So next we've got Clint versus Jay. Jay already has some points on the board. Lamar. Man, it's one of those. If I remember right, we can track it back. I'm pretty sure Jay said, I'm not keeping Lamar as one of his keepers. I swear he said that. Maybe it was just to me specifically, but and then, of course, he did. He has Lamar. And, yeah, this is why you want Lamar on your team, right? Not only for, the yardage, the passing touchdowns, but the carries and everything else. The man's just, he puts up points. And that definitely helps. So, unfortunately, Clint's got to try to overcome that as of right now. Like, you would give that quarterback advantage, right? Already to Lamar, who's already scored 32 points. Running backs, we'll give that to Clint. Clint's got a strong running back core, and probably will for a couple of years here. Tight ends, we'll say, are kind of in the middle. We'll say wide receivers. I think I gave that edge to Jay, London, Lamb. Unfortunately, though, with Lamb, right, we don't know. Kind of the same situation right now the Hill's in. When, I guess, Tua's back, but still not, that offense is not what it was before, and the offense in Dallas definitely is going to look a little bit different, so you don't know what you're getting from Lamb. But with all that said, long story short, all that good stuff, I'm giving the win to Jay. I will say this is an upset. I mean, he's projected to score more, but Clint is, tied for number 1. I mean, technically number 2 based on points, but with the record 7-2, this would be a huge upset and actually exactly what Jay needs to stay on track for still, fingers crossed, still trying to make the playoffs and possibly could do it if he goes on one hell of a win streak. But it starts this week. And I say Jay gets the win, and that would move him to 4-6. Next, Ian versus Josh. Oh, Ian 5-4, Josh 4-5. Josh already has some points. If we scroll down, Bateman, fantastic, 17.4. You're like, oh, Josh is going to win this easy, and then you keep scrolling down, and no, Hill gave him 1.8 points in the flex position, so he's got to overcome that. The good news is, though, right, Josh? McCaffrey is back. And let's hope, just like he never left, right? Jumping back in that offense and so on. I know, because I'm down to having Brock Purdy as my quarterback, so I'm actually hoping that he's kind of back and they pick up back where they left off. And, not so much for rushing, because I need some passing touchdowns. Let's just say he gets a lot of catches and a lot of, a couple touchdowns through the air, which would be amazing. So let's say, he's got McCaffrey. I'm going to give him the edge on that. Let's see. Quarterback, I think, kind of a toss-up between the two. They're both, projected really, really close between Cousins and Mayfield. Ian, I'll say, has the advantage for wide receiver. Yeah, Neighbors, St. Brown, both projected about 17, which really should offset Bateman. And then I'll give him the edge, Ian the edge as well for Kittle, even though I could see both of them scoring about the same. So maybe that would be really, really close. So unfortunately, Josh has kind of started the week right down, and he's projected to lose by 10. But that's not the way I'm going. Josh, I'm behind you, man. You got this win. You're gonna pull it out in the end. You're going to get enough points. We'll say from McCaffrey. We'll say from Swift. Probably Ingram, hopefully, will be the difference for you to score enough points more than Ian, right? That's all that matters. Doesn't matter how many points you score, as long as you score at least 0.00001 more than Ian, and I'm saying that you will, and you're going to get the win this week. So, all right, we're through 3 games. Let's see who's next. We got Sean versus Will, 3-6 versus the Almighty, and Will's already got 47 points. Oh, Joe Burrow. I had Joe Burrow last year. He got hurt. This is what I was hoping for him when I drafted him last year. That was last year. We'll move on. But anyways, Will got 33.72 points from him. Henry, not a great game. Still gave you 14 points, I guess. So that's comfortable. Sean, unfortunately, his kicker. I know he loves his kickers. Gave him 2 points. Justin Tucker, right? The best kicker in the league. Well, last year was. Only gave him 2 points as of this year. So with all that being said, Burrow already scoring a good amount of points. Will typically having the running back advantage because he still has Barkley. And even if I give Sean the wide receiver advantage, which I think when it's all said and done, Wilson, McLaurin will outscore Moore and Samuel. And even when you look at their flex, Sutton versus McConkey, yeah, I'll give that advantage to Sean. So who's going to win? We don't pick against Will. We did it again last week, right? In my game. And again, wrong. So we don't pick against Will. Will, you get the win. You're projected to win by a few. You're going to do it. You're going to stay number one in the league. And you're going to get the win, right? Especially since I picked Clint to win. So maybe I'll actually have a game advantage if all this follows suit with how we picked here. So, all right, moving on. Who's next? We got John versus Jeremy. 6-3 versus 3-6. No players have played as of yet. Given the quarterback advantage to neither one, even though I know Hurts is projected more, but I could see both those. Rodgers, Hurts, scoring about the same. When it's all said and done, running back advantage, I'll give that to Jeremy. I mean, he's got Bijan. I think that'll be the he'll beat Breece Hall. And I think overall, between the four of them, I think Jeremy will have the advantage. I'm also going to give Jeremy the advantage on wide receiver, too, because John's hurting. John's got a lot of outs. If you scroll down here, right, he's got Pittman out, Smith-Schuster out, Olave practically dead. He's hurting, and he's trying to go through it all right now. So Jeremy's going to have that advantage in wide receiver. Yeah, sure, tight end. I mean, John's got Kelsey, but I don't think it's going to be enough. So they're picking already Jeremy to win. John with a full team. I actually looked to see. I'm like, oh, John must not have a player in as of yet. Somebody's out or so on. I'm like, no, actually, he's got a full lineup set and only projected 105 points because again, he's dealing with injury and trying to make do the best that he can. But Jeremy's going to get this win because Jeremy so needs this. That would move him to 4-6 and keep him in, somewhat outside looking in playoff contention. But he definitely needs to win, and I'm picking as of right now he's going to get it. So, all right, last one. Myself versus Dez. Very close matchup. It's projected within, 4 or 5 points. Dez already had his kicker. His defense with Baltimore gave him 6 points. So pretty average. Quarterback, I'm saying, is a toss-up between Purdy and Darnold. Running back, we got to give that edge to Dez. Mixon, Kamara. I don't think there's any way I outscore that duo on there. I do think wide receiver, although I always feel pretty strong with my wide receiver core with Hill, Kupp, Brown. I mean, Dez is pretty solid too. Jefferson, Smith, Harrison. So I'm going to say that's a toss-up. And then the rest of it, tight end, no, it doesn't really matter. Kicker, defense, I think it'll all be pretty damn close. So I got to give the edge to Dez, unfortunately. And to Dez's team, because we don't call him by his listed team, or that picture I got to continue to look at. We'll say Dez's team gets the win this week. It's going to be close. It's going to be ugly, like most of my games are. As much as I really need the win here, I just don't think I get it. That would move Dez to 6-4. So there you have it. There is our predictions for this week. Winners, we've got Adam, Jay, Josh, Will, Jeremy, and Dez, who all get the win this week and improve, and we'll probably be a little bit happier come Monday night, Tuesday morning, as we head in then to our next week and week 11. So, all right, that's all we've got then for our Week 10 predictions here. We'll jump back into the song again, specially requested by Will, of Hail to the King, Hail to the number one team, sitting at 7-2 as we go into our Week 10 here. So, we'll talk throughout the weekend, of course, especially tomorrow as the games start here. Remember, if I remember right, there is an early game as of tomorrow. It's not a phenomenal game, which most of those early games are not. I'll post it in the league chat just to make sure that we're all aware. To make sure your lineups are set nice and early as of tomorrow due to another early game. So, all right, guys, we will talk to you soon. We'll kick it back to Will's song here.